Hi guys, welcome back.
Hey guys, today we're going to be building a small greenhouse for our plants over the winter. So stick around and see how we do that. Yeah, we're going to build a greenhouse.
Greenhouse?
Yeah. Now the dimensions of this greenhouse will be 10 feet long by 3 feet wide, and it'll be about 3.5 feet tall to 4 feet tall in the middle of the greenhouse. Now I'm going to be using two 10-foot 2x4s that are pressure treated for the length of going down the side of this greenhouse at the base, and then I'm going to be using two 3-foot sections on the ends to tie those two 2x4s together, and then I'll use two braces in the middle just to keep the whole platform together on the bottom so it doesn't warp and spread out towards the bottom. Alright, can I have another one? Thank you. I'm going to be using 2.5-inch long screws. I'll put 2 in each corner holding this all together, and then 2 in on each side of the braces in the middle. Now I know this greenhouse is not expected to be permanent. I'm not planning on keeping this around for that long. At max it's going to be 1.5 to 2 years. I'm actually planning on building a different greenhouse attached to a shed that I'm going to be building in the future. But this will hold me over till then, and it'll keep all my summer plants alive through the winter season. Alright, I need another screw. Thank you. Now the base is just about finished, and this greenhouse is mainly to keep my lemon trees alive. Last year we had a pretty cold winter and my lemon trees died completely down to the ground, and they sprouted new sprouts this year and grew up pretty well, but I don't want to risk killing them again another year. So I'm going to cover this up with the greenhouse. So before I start building the arch, I'm going to move this over top of those lemon trees. Back up. You got it? Okay. Now the next step will be installing the PEX tubing as a arch over top of this greenhouse. They'll be covering in plastic. And I have 5 of these 10-foot long sections, and they're 1/2 inch in diameter. I'm going to cut off about 1 foot because I only need 9 feet. So once I have these cut, I'm going to take a 5/8 inch drill bit, and I'm going to drill holes down into the 2x4s that I'll slide these tubes into the holes, and this is what will hold them in place. Now the last arch is going into place. Now I'm going to stretch out the plastic and start stapling this down to the bottom 2x4 around the edge. And the piece of plastic that I got was 10 feet wide by 25 feet. And I have 10-foot long poles going up and over. I cut those down to 9, so I know 10 feet wide is going to work perfect for the arch. And the length will need to be 10 foot by about 3 feet on either side, so 16 feet. So this will be a perfect size for what I need. So I'm just going to staple about every 4 to 6 inches and try to pull the plastic as tight as I can across the arch, and this will help keep the plastic taut and keep it from sagging later on. Now that it's all stapled, I'm going to take a knife and trim off the excess plastic at the bottom that I don't need. Now I'm just going to straighten up both ends. These are a little bit trickier than the sides to staple, and what I'm basically going to do is take the very middle of the plastic, pull it tight, and staple that down at the bottom. Next, I'm just going to move over a couple inches, pull it tight, and work my way all the way down the side, and that will bunch all of the excess plastic up in the middle of the 2x4 on the bottom. Then I can just trim off all the excess down there, and you can see the end bars are starting to pull in towards the middle a little bit. This is because the PEX is a little weak, that it will just bend if there's a lot of tension on it. So what I'm actually going to do, and this keeps it from blowing around if there's a storm or anything, keeps everything solid, I'm going to take a couple strings on either side, tie those to a stake, and staple those to the PEX tubing on the top. This will keep the whole thing taut and keep it solid on the ground as well, keep it from blowing around, and it seems to work really well for me so far. Now, if you don't really want to worry about the PEX tubing pulling in and having to put strings on the outside to keep it taut and support the pressure of the plastic pulling in, you want to try to get something a little bit stronger on the ends, maybe like thin rebar, and bend those in a half circle, put that on the ends. The middles, it works really well. The end is a little bit weak for the PEX tubing. So if I did it again, I would change that and strengthen it up a little bit more. Another thing I'm modifying, adding a space to get into the greenhouse. You really need access to make sure that you can water everything and it's not dying inside the greenhouse. So I made a simple doorway by taking 3 boards, screwing the bottom 2 boards to the 2x4 frame, and then across the top I screwed 1 board, tying those 2 together, and that made a pretty rugged door frame for me to staple the plastic to. And then I'm just going to take a plastic flap over top, staple that on the top, and on the sides I have a piece of Velcro tape that I'm stapling to that door frame, and I'll be using this to Velcro this flap shut so that the wind won't open it up and blow it away, and so that all the heat doesn't escape from the greenhouse. Now the doorway's just about done. This Velcro tape works really well. It's convenient, easy to get in and out, but it holds really strong, and I stapled it to both pieces of wood on each side, so it's not going to come off. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to start loading this up with some plants that we don't want out in the winter time, and we don't want to have to move all these indoors for the winter and fall season. So I'm going to move all of those in here, and I'm interested to see on how well this works throughout the winter. If I need to, I will bring a lot of these plants indoors, but this should work for most of the year. It doesn't get super cold down here. Now we only get snow maybe once or twice a year, and it gets pretty cold in the evenings, but as soon as the sun comes out, the sun's pretty strong down here and it heats up the area pretty quick. So I think this greenhouse should do pretty well throughout the winter, but at the very least it definitely will protect those lemon trees and keep them from dying from the extreme cold temperatures. Now this has only been set up for a few minutes already, and there's condensation happening on the greenhouse. It's already doing its job, and it's getting really hot in here, and it's pretty chilly outside right now. So I'm gonna check on this, make sure that the temperature stays warm even in the evenings, and so far it's been doing really well. I've already loaded up a lot of plants in here. It's been a couple weeks since building this, and it's gotten even down to like 37 and in the 40s at night, and it's still doing just fine. The plants are loving it in there. So I'm really excited for this. It should work pretty well, at least for a year, like I mentioned before, max 2 years, and then we'll try to build a more permanent greenhouse. But this is what it looks like. It's big enough to get inside if you need to. It's not the prettiest, I know that, but it's definitely something that is cheap and can get the job done if you need a greenhouse and you don't have the money or don't want to really invest into a permanent situation. Hey! Want a shower? Hi, can I come in? Hey, I'm coming in. Hey, is it nice in here?
Yes.
Do you like plants? Yeah. Alright guys, that just about finishes up my video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one or found it helpful. If you did, hit that like button down below. Also, leave any comments down in the comment section. I'll get back to those as soon as I can and answer any questions you guys have. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I upload a new video each week on Saturday. So if you don't want to miss out on any content I put out, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that YouTube will recommend my videos to you. Now, I also have a ton of videos already on my channel that you guys can go check out. I have a lot of DIY garden as well as landscaping and a ton of home improvement projects and some woodworking. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go check out my channel. I've got a lot there that you guys can enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, I will see you in the next one.